The NIT on ESPN. Second round action on a Sunday night at Stanford. Gorgeous Palo Alto. Kent State still dancing after a stunning win in round one against St. Bonaventure. Now they're out west, two-stepping with the Cardinal for a shot at the quarterfinals. That guy, one of the best players in the country, on display tonight. Well, March Madness, right? Every time you see the brackets, if you're like me, you get goosebumps. Right now, Loyola Chicago clinging to a 4-point advantage over San Francisco for the opportunity to play the winner of this one. Welcome inside historic Maples Pavilion. He's the NBA champ, Scott Williams. I'm Pete Souza. Tonight, Kent State is the underdog, but they've got a puncher's chance. Jalen Sullinger, though, is going to have to land some haymakers if they can make it happen, Scott.
Yeah, with that left hooky he's got, he's a fantastic player. He's got his constant energy in action. You got to find him in transition. He loves to pull up for logo threes. He can get downhill real quick. He's lickety-split in transition, pulling defenders with that left-hand shot, and do not leave him open in the corner. He will make you pay. And on the other side, Maximum Reyno. This kid can absolutely do it all. He can score with finesse around the basket with either hand. He plays with power above the rim. He can rebound and block shots. Oh, hit 24th double-double against CSUN on Tuesday night and 5 block shots. And no, did I mention he's got a silky smooth stroke from behind the arc.
Shoots about 6 threes a game. There's the tail of the tape. With Sullinger, just let me get it out of the way. I get Steph Curry vibes. We'll get more on that later. And with Max Reyno, one of the top players in the country, top 35 in ESPN's top 100. He'll be playing at the next level next season, so really excited to see what he has to offer tonight. Rob Senderhoff, one of the best countries, or one of the best coaches nobody's talking about right now. Senderhoff never had a losing season at Kent State. 287 wins. That is the most for a coach in Kent State history. Senderhoff, an elite company. Izzo and Mark Few and himself, the only 3 coaches right now actively coaching that have never had a losing season. On the other side, Kyle Smith, the architect of this revitalization that Stanford has witnessed over the past season. 21 wins. And Kyle Smith knows something about coaching in the postseason. This time last year, his Washington State team was losing in the second round of the NCAA tournament to Iowa State, lost by just 9 points. He told us today, playing this late in the season is how you build a program. These guys better get used to this because we're going to be winning championships.
Yeah, he's building a great program here. Just first year, the roots are starting to really grow for this Cardinal program with obviously the big man on campus, Maxime Reyno, but guys like Osiah Sellers and Blakes, Ryan Agrawal, Benny Keeler. They've bought into what Coach Smith has been selling all season long. One of the most unselfish teams in college basketball. You're going to love the way they move and share that ball on the offensive end.
Yeah, their ability to share the basketball. And they've taken care of the basketball all season long. Just 10.6 turnovers a game. They're on the track right there to be the best in school history at taking care of the basketball. That 10.6 would make history here at Stanford. We are underway. Second round action of the NIT.
Something to watch here for the Cardinals' offensive attack. They want to use their height advantage. Kent State starts 3 players 6 feet or smaller. Look for them to go inside early and often.
Down low, double teamed as Blakes loses the handle. And a foul is called early on. That's on Sion Medley.
Yeah, I love this kid Blakes, right? He's strong as an ox. He went right down on that left block and tried to post his defender in the paint.
Agrawal controls, whips it down low. Looks like they want to get Blakes taking advantage of his height over Medley early, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Well, I love, like I say, the ability for this Stanford Cardinal team, the high-low passing. We saw it against CSUN. The ability to feed people inside after they've established good low position is something you're going to really appreciate from this old-school Cardinal attack. They play inside and then back out.
Blake's off the mark with his first free throw. One of the most improved players throughout the country. Missed winning comeback player of the year, the most improved player of the year in the ACC by a handful of votes. And there's the Kent starting lineup. Keep your eye on 23, Rico Gillespie. That guy eats glass. Von Davis, step back. The southpaw, around and out, no good.
Davis is one you're going to have to keep an eye on as well. Here's the Stanford starting lineup.
Sellers going to try to start it off with the three, and does.
Oh my, Isaiah Sellers. If you leave him open behind that arc, he can knock down the three. He prefers to put his head down and drive it to the rack, but if he's wide open, he's an opportunistic three-point shooter.
Taking advantage of an opportunity there. Nice backdoor slip from Sullinger to Davis.
I love that right there. So those are the two stars looking up, Sullinger and Davis. You know, about 30 points a game between those two. They're going to need about 30, 35 tonight.
Lakes, clean look, top of the key. Around and out. Agarwal battles for the rebound, but Medley comes up with him. This is your true pass-first point guard here. The floor general. Dropping it off. Rico Gillespie is short with the jump hook. Reno with the board.
Yeah, you can see Gillespie trying to get that one over the long arms of Renault. Just got his weight moving away from the basket, so he left that short.
Agarwal does so many things for this Stanford team. Can't get the bucket to fall there. And here's Sullinger. That's too much room.
Yeah, cannot go under the pick-and-roll screen on Sullinger. That was the point of emphasis yesterday when I came to the Cardinal practice, worrying about Sullinger's range. He will get it. If you give him an opening, he's going to shoot it right in your face.
212 threes he has attempted this season. That includes the one he just made, his 80th make of the year.
Yeah, 50% of his field goal attempts are from behind the arc.
Reno. Off the mark from long distance. Pekelja comes up with it. Medley darts into the forecourt.
Interesting first shot by the big man. Deep three-point shot.
Davis, clean look at a three. He'll tee it up. Around and out. Cardinal hasn't scored in 2 minutes. We saw the three by Sellers. Look at this, 5'11" on 7'1".
Oh, rattles out. But he's not afraid of the shot blocker, right? He said, okay, let's dance out here, big man. And he tapped the big guy's feet, got it down below the letters of the ACC logo, and nearly got that one to go in before it rattled out.
Lakes tried to get it down low. Medley got a hand on it. Here's Reno. Reno can't find his rhythm early thanks to good defense from Gillespie, but Agarwal, Johnny on the spot. Offensive board, 2 points.
Yeah, he started very fast on Tuesday night, but you're right, stuck on the launch pad here. But Ryan Agarwal, you already mentioned all the positive things this kid does. He plays great defense, he can shoot the three, he can rebound the ball. Davis with another triple try.
Agarwal brings down the board, surveys as he heads across half court. Sullinger slaps it away. Locked at 5. Golden flash means business. Gillespie high off the glass and it falls.
Well, how about this start for Coach Sinderhoff's squad right here? This is exactly what he wants, right? Getting high opportunities, getting the steals, limiting the Stanford inside attack.
The Cardinals just 2 of 7 right now from the floor early on. Reno from long distance. Around and down. The big fella will do that all night long if he gets opportunities.
Well, you know, I like Reno because the kid puts in his work. I'm out here 2 hours before the game. He's already on the floor working out with one of the assistant coaches, getting up shots long before there was any other player in sight out here on the court.
Sullinger trying to answer. He is slick from the corner, knocks it down.
I like this kid, Sullinger. He's a gunslinger, man. He's not afraid of the moment. You mentioned all the people that he grew up around as a youngster. He's used to playing at the bright spot, the big moments.
Uncle Jared, of course, long time in the NBA.
Another turnover. Young coughs it up.
Davis, the pick and pop four. Will they count it? Looks like they will. So the Golden Flash showing flashes of what it will take to upset the Cardinal.
Well, Star's got to show up in March, and so far, Sullinger with a couple triple and Maxime Reynaud so good with the pick and pop for three.
The big reason, Scott, these guys have been on fire tonight. Well, you could say the Sullinger family tree has something to do with it. Jalen's in there somewhere, right? But we see it starts off with the grandpapa, Satch, and then Julian, his uncle right now actively Duquesne's assistant coach. And of course, his uncle Jared, a great career at Ohio State, and then with the Celtics and the Raps in the NBA. And his father, JJ, another Ohio State guy from 2006 to 2010.
That is quite the basketball tree. One of these kids come out here in this second round. He stayed in 2 triples, and that's an old-fashioned three-point play. So right now, if you're State Golden Flashes, that this is exactly what you want. You get a couple turnovers, your team's shooting 50%, and you've got this Stanford offensive attack a little off balance.
Hammond into the basketball game, showing off the footwork and flash.
Oh, he flashed the golden footwork when he did down there on that left block. I tell you, Eric Renaud, he's the big man's coach, and I didn't give credit for last basketball game, but he puts a lot of time in with these bigs, and boy, did they use their footwork well on that low post.
Sumlin into the game, loses his shoe, but finds his teammate with the basketball. Davis, step back, turn around. A little bit of a heat check after the three-point play. Give it to him.
Yeah, and a soft touch, right, for the 240-pounder. Looking more like 250 right now at this point in time during the season. He puts that shoulder into the defender just to create that space. Not in a way that causes an offensive foul, but just using his big size, his frame, to gain an advantage.
Sellers, 1 from 1 from beyond the arc tonight. Off target. Kent State has made their last 4 field goal attempts. From deep, Keon Hornbeek is off the mark. Maybe a foolish shot there so early in the possession.
Yeah, it's one thing, it's a heat check if you've got a couple to go down, but the way you've been working the ball around, get it to your hot players right now. Nobody is hot for the Stanford Cardinal. Reynaud got his break early like he generally does, but when he goes out of the game, a lot of times they'll lose that offensive punch that they have. He's got Akbar trying to rip that one away from over the top of the shoulder of Sullinger, but they're going to give that ball back to the Flash.
Great defense by Akbar. You mentioned it, giving chase. Sullinger was on his way to an easy 2. Golden Flash. Thought their season came to an end when they lost to Miami, Ohio in the conference tournament. And here they are, playing on. Davis from 3. Wide left. Look at the rebound. Hornbeek. Eating glass, putting 2 in.
I love that right there. Big fella goes down in low, grabs that basketball. He's coming off a double-double against the Bonnies. 10 points, 12 boards. Gets into the action early by going, like you said, chewing glass on the offensive end.
Top of the key, Akbar controls, puts it in drive. Davis gave him the business, and giving chase was Hornbeek. Couldn't do anything. Off the glass and in.
Akbar gave Davis some of his own medicine there with the big wide shoulder right into the defender, clearing some space.
Sullinger weaving through traffic, finds Hornbeek who travels.
Again, Akbar coming over off of his guy, providing help, and then recovering, causing that turnover.
5-point advantage for Kent. Golden Flash has made 5 of their last 7 baskets. So Loyola with a 77-76 win over San Francisco. We stay out towards the Bay. Welcome you to Palo Alto, the NIT Round 2. Pete Souza alongside the NBA champ Scott Williams. We see the bracket. Loyola Chicago, they advance in an upset over #1 seeded San Francisco. So they will play the winner of tonight's game, Stanford and Kent State. And so far tonight, Scott, everybody wants to turn the channel on to watch Max Reynaud could be a potential first-round draft pick in the NBA. But right now, it's been all golden flash. Thanks a lot to Jalen Sullinger, bombing away from deep.
Yeah, Sullinger's doing his darn thing from behind that arc. He loves to get into the corner for triples. And then Davis, the big fella, putting his head down, bucket after bucket inside, and one triple to go along with it, right? So it was a 7-point advantage at Kent State, their largest of the game. And then right now we're at 17-12. But I think they got to get Maxime Reynaud back in this basketball game because the Stanford offensive attack is struggling.
You mentioned Reynaud. He's been operating from the outside. Is 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. He'll shoot about 6 from deep a game. We haven't really seen him establish a rhythm yet inside. Now, it's very early. But to your point, that's something Stanford will need to do to find a rhythm.
Yeah, one thing I talked about, Coach Senderoff, in practice and the shoot-arounds, but let's go back to get you caught up on what you have missed so far. And the ability of Maxime Reynaud to look weak side and find his offensive targets behind that arc. But Jalen Sullinger has been able to match Stanford triple for triple from behind the arc himself. And then I like this right there. Davis, big wide body, knocking in jumper after jumper, taking the ball to the hole, creating that space inside. He's off to a great start. Those two stars are their leading scorers. They average about 29 points a game. Tonight, they have to perform even bigger than that, between 35 or 38 points tonight.
And the marquee matchup, the tail of the tape. Keep your eyes on these two dueling tonight. Reynaud, another double-double in his first-round win. That was on Tuesday night against CSUN. 24 double-doubles, more than anyone in the country and more than anyone in Stanford history in a single season.
Just a phenomenal player that can do it all. He's got great footwork, great vision. He's got the ability to use both hands around the basket. You always show him stretching the defense and knocking in a triple.
On the shot clock, the Harvard transfer. Akpara activates. Is fouled on the floor. Looks like someone got a hand in.
Well, Akpara is not one player that they generally will isolate in the right corner, and his ball found him somehow out of that offensive set that Coach Smith called out of that timeout, and he was ready to go to work. Vinny Keeler for 3.
Ball spits out to Blake. Slob for Reynaud. Comes back down with it. Gathers, goes up, no good. Rico Gillespie brings down another rebound.
Yeah, it looks to me like Reynaud, he's shot a couple of these ones where he's been a little quick, hasn't tried to punish the smaller defender in size, trying to use his length with jump hooks that just aren't falling early on.
Sullinger. Tough shot of the 7-1 Reynaud. But look at him coming in at 5'10" from the backside, taking it away from Keeler. Oh, no problem. Top of the key for 3.
I love that passion. I love that energy. I love that hustle out of Sullinger. Makes his bad shot, comes back, hits the steal, and stops and pops. That's what they're worried about in the Cardinals. Their point of emphasis. Finding Sullinger.
Reynaud says, anything you can do?
Yeah, he couldn't go inside for a bucket. He said, hey, maybe go outside and knock in my second triple. So just when they look like this golden flashes, we're going to go on a spurt. Reynaud shuts him down with a triple of his own.
Sumlin, cat-like quickness. Barnett pulls up, wide left.
Well, that was great defense. Never allowed anything inside. Kept him on that perimeter, and just kind of a challenge three-point shot is kind of what you want.
Any dealer controls. Over to Blake. Blake's one of the most improved players in the country. Reynaud directs traffic. Moving from the mid-corner. How about that spin move? Couldn't get it to fall.
Yeah, but again, not getting to the spot that he wanted. Yes, he's got the left-hand hook. But yes, he'd like to get 2 feet closer when he's going to throw that lefty hook.
Sullinger with the runner off the glass and in. The kid has come to play.
He took the words right out of my mouth. So I was getting ready to say the same exact thing. And most importantly, I love the fact that he gets knocked to the floor and something that I miss about 80s and 90s basketball. He gets himself up off the floor. Doesn't have to wait for 3 of his teammates to get himself up off the floor. He's only 165 pounds. He pops right back up. Not afraid to go in there amongst the trees. Let's see if he can finish off the three-point play.
I love your point with that. Like, he's sending a message almost by popping right back up.
Yeah, we're here to fight. Like, they're here to compete. Yeah, I talked to coach before practice. I got a chance to watch some of the practice. I left a little early. Apparently, there was a little dust-up in between the teammates. So he said, hey, I'm not worried about that. Sometimes a little friction creates traction, and that's exactly what they got here in this first half.
Reno created space. Got the ball to Gieler, who misses. 8-point advantage for the Golden Flash. Coming off an upset win at St. Bonaventure on Tuesday night. Sumlin jackknifes into the lane and misses.
I like the position on the floor. I think the shot was a little difficult. But look at the other way. Blake's, he's just so quick, right? He gets that ball out here at the half-court line, and then he just drives it right into the middle and creates that foul. Jalen Blakes, his sister's a baller, too, over at Vanderbilt. Michaela Blakes. We'll talk about her a little bit later.
Let me tell you right now, she had 55 points in a game this year, a conference game playing at Vanderbilt. For the 5th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, all you got to do is go to NCAA.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Well, Jalen Blake's able to get 1 of 2 free throws there, so struggles at the line, somewhat continuing here for the Cardinal early on. They had to figure out a way to stop this Golden Flash attack.
Barnett somehow hangs onto his dribble and loses Blakes.
Oh, he got a foul call. I thought he traveled, but you're right. He got the body contact after he spun around and got by his initial defender. Love this right here. This is just constant motion, energy, and action, and then draws that foul. Go sit her up. I think he loves it. He loves this start. He loves the fight in his team.
Free throws off the mark, so free throw woes have been prevalent for both teams. Stanford is all Blake's. He's 1 of 4. Barnett makes 1 of 2. What is Kent State doing that's keeping Reno uncomfortable, Scott?
Well, right now it's just the energy. I mean, look at that. On that pick, just the charge out there, getting them off balance, and it looks like Reno, he's settling on that triple, right? Like, he's the pick and pop guy, but sometimes you got to pick and pop and then put that thing on the floor and go to the rack.
Sumlin creates space with his left arm and connects with his right.
Well, right now, Kent State, they are the more aggressive team. That's why they got the double-digit advantage. They're putting their heads down and just taking that thing to the hole.
Biggest lead for the Golden Flash. Stanford has not scored in almost 3 minutes.
That wild pass by Reno, trying to find his other big Cameron underneath there. He threw that thing into the first row of the baseline. Oh, substitution there. Ryan Agarwal back in this game. He play that good defense. He can get on the board. He can use his wheels in transition.
Here's Davis. Sullinger on the bench, out of the game. Davis trying to cook. He keeps finding the rolls.
Davis is doing his darn thing to start this basketball game. I tell you what, this kid's got 9 points, and he's making it look super easy, Pete.
First team All-MAC. As we see Blake showing off some of that amazing athletic ability. Seemed like he hung for a second or two before he put it in.
Yeah, that's what Blake's is at his best, right? Like driving that thing to the rack. But he's having a tough time staying in front of it. Whoever's got the rock in front of him right now, these guys are just blowing right by Blake's.
Barnett likes his odds. Can't get it to fall on Sellers. Reno with the rebound.
I tell you, they needed to stop, and that time they created a very difficult situation in the jump shot there, twisting and turning, and Reno snatching another board, but then he turns it over. A second turnover for Reno and 3 possessions.
Barnett barreling into the forecourt, was out of control, commits the offensive foul.
Well, I love the way this kid has come to the gym tonight. He missed a shot, doesn't hang his head, comes back, gets the steal, and he goes, oh, you're not going to guard me behind an arc? You know who I am?
The most wonderful time of the year if you're a college basketball fan is right now. The NCAA tournament underway, obviously. We got the NIT playing out in front of us, but the Big 12 has been showing some serious strength. They have three teams in the Sweet 16 so far. They have a shot with 4 with Arizona playing Oregon. UConn falls to Florida. That ends their three-peat bid. And what a heavyweight match it was yesterday. Calipari and Pitino. Cal winning that one. Arkansas heads to the Sweet 16. And then you look at Richard Pitino. He may be the Pitino going to the Sweet 16. They are up 7 right now. His New Mexico team is against Michigan State.
Gotta love March Madness, man. These games have been fantastic.
Guy's making waves right now, though. This is my Steph Curry lookalike.
Yeah, I love this kid right here. A little lefty, popping him in from all over the floor. He's 3 of 3 from behind the arc. He's constant energy, motion. He misses a shot. He runs back down. He snatches a steal. He's got 3 steals to go along with his 12 points on 4-6 shooting. A perfect 3 for 3 behind the arc. Got his team out in front and looking really good.
Golden flash of 10. Akara walks the tightrope. Blake's no look cross court to Sellers. Sellers pounds the rock. Nice take.
I like that right there. Coach Ben settling his team down. Say, hey, let's work the ball from side to side. Trying to catch that defense off balance. And then Sellers, as the guy tries to close out on him, he just put his head down, took it to the rack. So you see Blake and Sellers both now here trying to take that ball to the hole.
Davis wide left. Rebound for Sellers.
Yeah, Davis didn't get that one to go, but I mentioned the Stars got to show up, and they sure have. Davis and Sullinger, 21 combined points for those two. They might get the 30-point plateau before the first half is even over.
Blake's the Duke transfer. Drifts to his right, now activates. Pulls up from deep, sticks to 3.
Well, whatever Coach Smith said to his team, he calmed them down. Their offense looks a lot better, more balanced.
7-0 Stanford run over the last 145. They have made 3 straight. Back at Maples Pavilion with the Stanford Cardinal making a quick run.
Well, I love this right here, right? Because Isaiah Sellers just takes that ball hard from the right side right into the paint. And then Blake says, well, let me get in on the act as well and pop in a 3 from just off the right top side of the top of the floor. So quick 5 points. And Coach Sinderoff said I'm going to give you a quick timeout.
Davis spins free. No whistle. Gillespie fights underneath. Razor sharp elbows for him. Can't finish with the putback. Sellers outside has made 8 of his last 13 3-point shots. Darting across the floor is Sullinger batting it out of bounds.
Yeah, I see that's the one on Paul. He's got to take his time. You got Sullinger trying to guard. Blake's down there underneath. And just let him come to that block and then get set and then throw it to him. Look at the Blake standing there.
Yeah, we've been talking about the Sullingers and their family. That's an interesting combination right there. Malika on the right, Jalen on the left. Malika, as we mentioned earlier, had 55 points earlier this season, and then had another 50-point game, Scott.
Yeah, I asked Blake before the last game. I said, you play your sister 10 times. How many times do you win? He bragged and said, I win 11.
Akara wins that wrestling match, comes up with the basketball, and somehow puts it back in.
He's just like the tough dude on the Stanford Cardinal team. They got some tough guys, but none tougher than Akara.
Sullinger, twice a 3. Off the front of the iron, there's Akara again. Taking down the rebound, his 4th of the night. Blake's in transition, out of control. Was bailed out by Medley with the late foul.
And he said, I'm not out of control. Since I'm using my wheels and I'm getting out there in transition. And look at this one here by Akara. Out of my way. Just too much beat down there like a Mack truck. Down in that paint, moving bodies out of the way. I love the extra effort there. He just fought that ball. They had 20 fingers on that ball. And Akbar said, that ball belongs to me, and just took it away. Blake finally gets a first free throw to go down. So then he had K-State had gotten up by 10, and all of a sudden, here come the Cardinal with a little 8-0 run of their own.
I want you to jump into Rob Senderhoff's shoes. You're on the road as an underdog. You take a 10-point lead. The opposition, in this case Stanford, comes storming back. How do you keep your team from getting too rattled?
Listen, you got a lot of seniors on the squad. They're not going to get rattled. What they're going to try to do here is make sure they get a high percentage shot. They're not going to get a rush shot, nothing from long distance. They were having their most success when they were attacking inside.
11-0 Stanford run in the last 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Von Davis, first team All-MAC selection. Hornbeak had it knocked away by Akpar. Shot clock at 2. He'll have to move. Oh, he's got a foul before. It looks like a block.
Not the call we were looking for right there. Looked like Cameron was in pretty good position as the ball gets driven to the PQ. First of all, taking on the defender down there on that low block, giving everything he's got. And pretty good position by Cam, and maybe slid a little to his left, but with 1 second on the shot clock, I told these officials before the game, hey, let him play. We want an old school 90s basketball game.
Hornbeak at the free throw line. After Toledo loses to Miami in the conference tournament, they did not expect to play in the postseason. So players did what they do. They darted, some took off. You know, it's break time. Hornbeak went to Vegas. Hornbeak's in Vegas.
Yeah.
They get the phone call, hey, we got to get the band back together. We're going to the NIT. And he's like, man, I'm in Vegas. Coach is like, well, I didn't tell you not to leave, but I'd really like you to come back. And, of course, then Von Davis gets involved. Jalen Sullinger gets involved. They say, this is our senior. This is our guy. We need him to win. So what do? They get Mom to call him.
That's right.
Mom calls my man Hornbeak and says, you know, get your tail over there to New York. We're going to fly you to Buffalo, and you're going to play in the NIT. And he did, and he played awfully well.
Yeah, he did. He played really great. Double-double. It's like Dennis Rodman going to Vegas when Jordan's got to go get him and bring him back to Chicago. And they win the game in advance. What a story.
Thanks a lot, fellas. Back here at Maples Pavilion.
Good luck fixing that slice, by the way. I played a lot of golf in my day. It's the hardest problem to fix. Oh, look at Big Blake's trying to go in there with a big jam. He was denied at the 10th floor, though.
They are calling this like some of your 90s Bulls games. Reno takes it away from Barnett, but he's called with the foul.
Reno can't believe it. He thought he had a smothered chicken in a pot right there. Got those big mitts right on the top of the ball. Look at Blake's. He goes in there with all kind of body contact and then didn't come back on the other end. Reno thinks he gets a pretty good shot on top of the basketball, but he gets whistled.
So Marquise Barnett, the 64% free throw shooter, hits his first at the charity stripe.
Well, after the corner goal, they went on that little sprint, and Coach Sidroff got the immediate timeout. He come back, and they go on a little four-point burst of their own now to take a little four-point advantage.
All right, so Max Reno has 6 points, but they've all come from behind the three-point line. How did they get him involved, Scott?
Well, you know, listen, you sometimes when you got a big man against a smaller opponent, you can keep it simple. Just run a little turn action for him underneath. You throw him the ball in the post.
Nothing simple about that. Barnett, Euro steps into the forecourt after the steal. And who's there to clean it up? The little guy, right? At 5'10", trailing the play among the trees, puts it back up and in.
Smallest dude on the floor, hustling down there. A senior that does not want to see his collegiate career come to an end. Getting those extra effort plays, and they get another stop.
Barnett involved on that one again in the face of Sellers, who misses. Sullinger can't make it go down. Golden Flash, one of their last 9 field goals. Sullinger, transition 3. Butter!
Wow, that's twice now. Sullinger is taking the ball away from Stanford Cardinal offensive ball handlers right at the midcourt stripe and stopped at that three-point line and knocked one down. What a spurt here by the Golden Flashes.
An 8-0 run. And you see Barnett stepping through and Sullinger in transition. And then how about this one, Scott?
This one right here is just showing off now. He's just saying, listen, I got unlimited range and my light is as green as a neon bulb, and he knocks it down. So when they were going badly for about 3 minutes, Davis and Sullinger did not score. They were stuck on 21. And all of a sudden, Sullinger comes back, gets a bucket at the rim, and then he comes back with a triple from behind the arc. Quick 5 points, and he's got his team off to a nice, what is that, math is hard. That's a 9-point advantage. So just when the Stanford thought they had gained some momentum, they're going to take some momentum in the locker room. Kent State says not so fast. It comes back with a nice spurt of their own.
Yeah, the spurt is officially an 8-0 run. Sullinger responsible for 2 of those buckets, and the 2 free throws came from Barnett.
Yeah, Cardinal just loose with the basketball on the offensive end. They're not used to the speed of these Golden Flashes. They're just taking that ball right away from them.
Apara flashes to the hole. Gillespie comes down with the basketball after a street fight. Hornbeak throws it down in transition.
Well, I watched these dudes in practice on Saturday, and I was impressed with the passion and energy and the spirit in which they played with. And I thought the Cardinal might be in trouble because you got a hungry, seam-laden team here that looks to want to keep on playing in the NIT.
Benny Dealer too strong. 11-0 run for the Golden Flash. Make it 13-0.
Yeah, Coach Smith needs a timeout. I think he's going to take a timeout. Actually, they're called a delay of game. Excuse me.
Stopping the bleeding. Under a minute here left in the first half. The underdog, Kent State, on the road. Up by 8. Sullinger with 17. Can he make it 20? Oh, he can!
Iron so kind. Jalen Sullinger, the ability to put so much pressure on the defense moving forward, and he stops those little size 10 shoes so fast and then gets back on balance before the defense can recover. He just knocks it down right in the face.
Blake's stutter steps. Sellers banging with Barnett, and a foul is finally called with 9 on the shot clock and 17 on the game clock.
Yeah, I think that's a 17th foul on Kent State, so they're going to send him to the free throw line. They have one more time inside. That's that speed, right? That they're just not used to playing with. Seaside on Tuesday didn't have that, right? So then they had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday off. That's a lot of time off when you're used to playing about every other day, every third day. So they've caught the Cardinals sleepwalking here in this first half. They've jumped on them and put up 43 points here in this first half.
Rob Senderhoff coaching his team right now to an impressive first half performance. Sellers is able to trim the lead to 9 with 17 seconds left on the clock. The Golden Flash have made their last 4 baskets. And the play for the last one of the half here.
Don't let that dude shoot it. He caught his fisters.
Davis, his tray is off the mark. And he hit the baseline. So with 3 seconds left, the Cardinal have a crack at it. And remember what happened last game against CSUN. Benny Dealer hit a 3 to take his team into the locker room. Will it be Blake's this time? At the buzzer. Not the look he was hoping for. Just heaves it at the basket. No good.
I'm very impressed with a Golden State. Can he play here to compete in this first half?
So Zubin and the gang will take it from here. Scott will help you guys with the slice when we start the second half. But right now, it's a driver over to you.
There's Kent State Flashes. So if they're not going to take this ball and fight inside, their season's going to come to an end because the Golden Flashes, they got a lot of seniors on that team that want to keep on playing.
And Sullinger is one of them. You see the production there. 20 points. The rest of the team, 23. Von Davis, all-MAC first team, emerges out of the pack to miss a short one.
I tell you, the bigs down low really got tangled up, and it was Maxime Reynaud that ended up on the ground. And Maxime Reynaud, he started to bark out some orders, taking some senior leadership under his wing. Look at him trying to polish him down on his block.
Sellers. Reynaud. We're seeing nice defense from Rico Gillespie all game long, giving him fits.
Yeah, Reynaud is settling for a very weak left-handed hook shot that is not falling. He shot 3 of them. He hasn't got any of them to go.
Sellers outlet, hanging, finish it.
The big body, explosive athletic ability of Ozias Sellers in transition. And I think Coach Smith has lit a little fire under his team and say, you better give me some passion or some energy. I'll get some guys up off the bench that will.
Davis, 12th all-time in Penn State history scoring the basketball, is fouled by Blakes. The foul is indeed on Blakes. As we see the summary, this is exactly how we got here. Kent scored the last 5 field goals in an average of 7.2 seconds.
Yeah, I love that right there, right? The late half surges by Kent, that 12-0 run. I think 8 of those 12 points by a little bit Sullinger there. And look at that good cross-court passing, and then that diagonal cut through the lane. Nobody home defensively for the Cardinal for the easy jam.
Tic-tac-toe passing. Davis there with the keen eye to get it underneath to Gillespie for the jam. Reynaud walks the tightrope, finishes.
Better, stronger, more aggressive than that little lefty hook he's been shooting down there. He can finish with contact around the basket.
That's only his 2nd attempt from inside the three-point line.
That's what I can't stand about officiating sometimes. They let them play a physical first half, and then they want to come out here and try to clean things up and get a little whistle happy. But you're going to love this one by Reynaud. After that nasty dunk there on the Golden Flashes, he comes back in, fights inside for a hard-fought bucket as well. So I'm hoping that these officials will tighten their whistles just a little bit more. That's such a nice first half flow to the game. I don't want these ticky-tack fouls. Nobody wants that college basketball much.
Sullinger mismatch on Cameron, tried to take him to the rack, lost the basketball. 7 turnovers in the first half for Stanford. That's part of the problem. And Cameron, that's the exact opposite of a turnover.
Yeah.
Special delivery.
Yeah, and let's show a little love to Blakes with a nice bounce pass from block to block and gets his big fit, man, spoon-fed right underneath the bucket.
Sullinger, he is in range from the San Jose airport. Offensive rebound for the Golden Flash. Sumlin controls. An elite athlete from Cleveland, Ohio, makes the extra pass, and Gillespie is denied. But look at Sumlin coming on the backside, trying to take it from Agarwal, is hit with the foul.
Yeah, these Cardinals aren't used to the speed in which the Golden Flashes come from behind when they're breaking out from underneath the rebound around the midcourt stripe. They're just so quick and they're so low to the ground, right? They're like 5'10", 5'11", 6-foot dudes that just knife in. They watch that ball leave the hand going to the floor to bounce, and then they just pounce on it.
Kent led 40-27. Now the lead is 45-40.
Yeah, I mentioned the 15 points off of turnovers, but 6 of those turnovers were steals. Those are light ball turnovers, and they put those into easy opportunities the other direction.
Akbar drops it off for Reynaud. He just does not seem himself, and we see the frustration there.
You saw that slam of that basketball. Is that what you're referring to, Pete? He slammed it on the floor like, I should have been moving to the ball, the hoop before the ball comes to me. To see that left foot was going back. By the time he tries to get back to the basket, now the defensive closed on him, creates that foul. Good news for Reynaud is he's a good foul shooter. He can go to the line to make 2 free throws. He's not afraid of that charity strike.
70% free throw shooter on the season. For the 5th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, all you got to do, go to ncaa.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships.
So good. I love March. I left you this afternoon and went back and watched a good Oklahoma State Baylor game on TV. It was SMU, not Baylor. SMU right down to the wire. Usman was batting them down low. And I tell you what, hey, you got to give Oklahoma State a lot of credit, right? You know, sub-500 basketball team. They are taking advantage of this opportunity to continue to play in March.
And Kent trying to do the exact same thing. Reno, as his team is now on a 6-0 run over the last 134, have made 3 of their last 3. Hammond. There's Akpar, shot clock at 5. Muscling to the hole. Wow, right in the face of Barnett, he finishes.
It was almost like he had a digital stopwatch in his head to tell him exactly how much time he had to operate down low. Finally, the Cardinal had entered the fight. Well, Chisholm Akpar, when you need yourself a hard-fought bucket, you give it to the 240-pounder and let him muscle himself inside for easy bucket.
Is well underway. Maryland winning at the buzzer. A go-ahead jumper by Derek Queen. Yeah, that was just the start of it. In the NIT, we've had the same type of theatrics. Jaden Dawson with the go-ahead jumper to help San Francisco win. The winner of this game will take on the Dons, but in North Texas, UNT getting it done. Winning the game, a jumper with .2 left on the clock. Impressive stuff.
Yeah, this is what you love about March, right? It comes down to sometimes that final possession, that game-winning jumper, that tip-in.
Barnett can't hit. Breaks. Another rebound.
This is a different Cardinal team. This is not the Cardinal team that let the Golden Flashes shoot nearly 50% in that first half. They have tightened the screws defensively.
Trying to improve on that 8-0 run. Golden Flash hasn't scored in 3.5 minutes. They know like to score right now.
Reno stopped on that block. He let out some sort of a high-pitched yell at Blake. Blake said, I better get the big man the ball. He's calling for with his defender strapped to his back, and he gives the Cardinal the first lead. When's the last time they even had the lead?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got 15 points now. Reno does. And Barnett ends a 3.5-minute scoring drought.
But that was a short-lived lead. The Golden Flashes were able to get back inside for a bucket. And they've got 2 buckets inside here in this half. Once a slam, and that one out glass underneath, and they turn it over again. Another steal for the Golden Flashes.
8th turnover of the night for the Cardinal. Remember, they came into this game averaging 10.6. It's the best they've ever done here in a single season at Stanford. Davis clears out room, can't finish.
Now that's what I like. Let big players play big around the basket. Keep those whistles in your pockets, officials. Let those guys bang down low. Both sides, right? It was both sides. Right now got banged in the back. He lost the ball. Come back over here. Gillespie on the glass. He got pushed around. No call.
Breaks into the spin cycle. He takes Sumlin. Chance at a 3-point play.
Well, Jalen Blakes heard talking about his sister being a better baller than him, and he says, no way. Watch my footwork as I flash through the lane for an easy 2 points.
Back in Palo Alto, my women's bracket is busted. I don't know about yours at home, but I had Baylor in the Final Four. If you had USC, if you had UConn, you're looking pretty good right now. And if you're Haley Van Leeuwen, hey, you got to feel pretty good about yourself. Against Louisville, your old team, you come out and show out, and you help TCU advance. The Horned Frogs are the real deal. You can see them dancing all the way until that final game.
Well, looking at Maxim Reno, the way he has attacked this basket in the second half, he got 6 quick points. He's passing the ball well, and all the Cardinals. I think whatever Coach Smith told him at halftime, the main point was take the ball inside to the rack, and you see Jalen Blakes, who now finishes off that three-point play, giving the Cardinal a 2-point lead.
Blakes, one of 15 dudes in the country to finish the season with 12.9 points, 4.7 assists, and 1.8 steals a game. If you want to see those numbers again for Stanford, you'd have to dig into the record book, and you find him next to the name Brevin Knight, one of the all-time greats here, playing in Palo Alto for the Cardinals.
Yeah, your buddy, he's texting you during the game, like, hey, so get my team playing better, and they are.
If they need any steals or defense like that, all they got to do is call Brevin, but we got a tie-up.
Well, look at this one more time. You want to hold a team to under 20% shooting to start the second half. I mean, this is the kind of effort it takes. And that team right now, the long arm of the law down there defensively in that painted area, just swatted that peg away, got the ball back for his teammates. So 2-point advantage, playing much better in the second half on both sides of the floor, looking to try to make it a 4-point advantage. That's Davis. Davis is riding out Blake's there, wouldn't let him turn the corner. So what is that now? The third team foul already. Excuse me, make that the fourth team foul on Kent State. We still got over 13 minutes to play here in this half.
Stanford coming all the way back.
You know, it's funny because, I'm sorry, Pete, nice catch up. Kent State played so good in the second half against St. Bonaventure, and they're doing the exact opposite thing here. They jumped on St. Bonnie in that second half, went up by nearly 20 points, and then never looked back. But they're struggling coming out of the locker room in the second half tonight.
Blakes has to hurry against Sumlin.
Can I give some credit to that Golden Flashes defense? And look at them getting on that glass and going the other way. I think that was Raynaud again with the big pop block.
I can confirm. Max Raynaud, another block. Give him 3 on the night.
Yeah, he had 5 in that first round game against CSUN and doing his darn thing again, patrolling that paint. Well, Maxime Raynaud has come to play. He says, I'm the leader. I'm the senior leadership on this team. I'm going to bark out instructions offensively to take the ball to the rack, follow my lead to the bucket, and then defensively, swatting shot after shot, trip after trip down the floor.
Hornbeak controls the inbound. Sullinger needs to get going. Oh, that one dropped from a skyscraper into the basket.
Yeah, Sullinger and Davis had 29 points at the half, and before that bucket right now, they had hit 29 points. So, yeah, Sullinger finally got his little lefty floater to go. So, you see if maybe he can heat up and try to put his team on his back. We're all knotted up at 49.
Raynaud on Hornbeak. Spins, left hand short.
Yeah, he just saved that for the summer. He about 0 for 5 for these little left-handed hook, and it's exactly what Hornbeak wants him to do, right? Don't put the pressure on me by using your good footwork and taking me to the basket. I'll give you all those little right shoulder turn left-hand hooks you want.
Who was the guy you played with that needed to save most of the shots for the summer? Somebody who was just always trying crazy stuff.
Plenty of them, trust me, especially in some of those Sixer teams. These guys didn't care about winning. They just cared about their own numbers.
Locked at 49. We got a ball game here in Palo Alto.
Well, look at this one more by Sullinger. Says, I got to get going. Puts his team on his back and throws a little lifty hook over the defense.
A lot of action today all over the college basketball world and in the NIT. 1 seeds fall in quick succession. Dayton and then SMU down in the second round. Stanford, just one of the 2 ACC teams still alive in the postseason, Duke being the other ones. And we have had a bevy of games that have gone down to the wire. Exciting basketball this postseason in the NIT. There's some scores for you. UC Irvine over Jacksonville State, 53-48. Santa Clara up by 10 over UAB. 15 minutes left in the second half there. Sullinger. Oh, a crafty hook.
Yeah, you thought, okay, maybe the first one he did a moment ago was lucky, but he comes back and he drops another hook. This guy's 5'10", 164 pounds. His shorts, my underwear is bigger than his shorts. He's not afraid to take it in there amongst the big guys and throw little lefty hooks in.
Agarwal off target.
I'll tell you what, hey, one thing I like about this coach, Rob, he settled his team down. After Stanford went on a big run, he settled his team down. He got the ball to the hands of his ace, almost got that bucket to go. And who was that picking there? That Hornbeak in there? No, that's Gillespie. Gillespie inside Truman on the offensive glass. So a little 6-0 run puts Kent State up by 4.
Gillespie has 98 offensive rebounds on the season with that one and putback. He's got 50 more than the next member of his team.
Yeah, he's coming off that double-double, the 12 points and the 10 boards.
Trading muscle with muscle.
I like Big O. He just exactly what you said. He, will get that low post position, and then look at Sullinger back the other way. Oh boy, I told you if he heated up with that first little lefty hook, it might be in trouble. Give him that. What's that? 4 and 3, 7 points real quick in the second half.
6 of 8 from 3.
Yeah, he did the same thing against the Bonnies. He would call him second half Sullinger. He knocked in 3 triples from like logo 3-point range and just buried the Bonnies.
Agarwal, his second 3-try in a row off the mark. Golden Flash has made 4 of their last 5. This guy's been a big part of it. Sullinger, no-look pass for Hornbeak, who glides to 2.
He's just getting by Benny Dealer, and the big's got to come over and help. Cameron comes over and help, and then he just drops it like a little push dribble with the left hand. He drops it along the baseline to his big buddy and lets him eat.
7-point advantage for Kent State, making 3 of their last 3.
So he got by Agarwal right there for that little lefty hook, and then that's his second one that he had. Then I love this one over here. You get that defender, rub him off your big guy there, and that little pistol action on the right side. He stops and pops for a triple.
So the run is now 9-2, and Kent State has more than stopped the bleeding, Scott. How have they done it? How have they been able to stifle what was a red-hot Stanford attack coming out of the locker room?
Well, Stanford was doing a great job. They hold them on 3 of 15 shooting. They had them discombobulated with the energy with what they were playing with, and it took Kent State just a moment to try to figure out how to turn back on the energy that they had in that first half, and they certainly have done that. The attack's inside by Sullinger. All of a sudden now the defense starts backing up. He stops and he pops a triple. Then when you come back out on him, he's so good at getting by his defender. You got to remember, he's strong left hand. He wants to drive the ball to the left hand, and sometimes it takes a defender a moment to realize that. You got to know your personnel and recognize the fact that he's going to go left.
Blake's with 13 points tonight. Gives to his left. Sellers, like a hockey player, doing the Gretzky behind the goal, finds Akpara, who powers the 2 more off the window.
Well, I thought Akpara was going to settle for a triple, but we've mentioned it time and time again. He's been that hungry guy that has taken the ball right to the fight of these Golden Flashes inside.
Sullinger finds Hornbeak. And again, the 2 connect for another field goal.
I love that right there by Hornbeak because he's moving without the basketball. He finds the hole in the defense right there by the C in the ACC. And no hesitation. I got the ball in the paint. I'm a big guy. Shot this shot 10,000 times. Let me turn a fire.
Akpara thinks it over. And when he reloaded, may have been a little too much for him. Raynaud with 15 points. Hands it to Sellers. The intensity defensively by the Golden Flash has been impressive. Raynaud, too strong, and there's Cameron tacking it back out. Breaks, converts on the opportunity.
Yeah, we saw Cameron do that a number of times on multiple possessions in that first game on Tuesday against CSUN, using his height advantage with that length and just, he doesn't even rebound a ball. He just taps it right where he knows one of his teammates is supposed to be located. And that time, was it Blake's or Sellers that knocked in that triple?
Blake's knocked it in. And there you go. A huge 3 coming from Bakelja.
Yeah, this dude don't score. He averages less than 2 points a game. And sometimes when you're playing harder than the other team, it becomes infectious. And everybody wants to get into that scoring column.
Akpara, no indecision that time. Stepped right into it, but missed.
Sullinger just said, I need a little bit of a blow. I'm going to walk this thing up and take a little time, and we can kind of make sure we execute well on this half-court set.
Yeah, and Blake snipped that one out. He was right there to me in the half-court. Hornbeak Nice ball fake, but he walks. Check that, we got a foul on the floor. So that's the Thunder, but here's been the Lightning. Raining threes, Scott.
Yeah, it really has been on both ends of the floor. Blake and then Sullinger finding his buddy out there from behind the arc. We got ourselves a basketball game.
We'll get Jalen Sullinger a cape, like a superhero. He has splashed on the scene tonight to 27 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He has scored or assisted on 15 of the 25 field goals, and his team is in the pole position right now, Scott Williams.
Yeah, this is a senior that wants to keep playing. Second half, Sullinger doing his darn thing. A couple lefty hooks and a triple. 7 points to add to his 20 that he had in that first half. And I can do the math on that. 27 points. He's played all but 3 minutes of this basketball game.
Von Davis. Akara got a piece of it. Ball dribbles out of bounds. Let's stay here. Golden Flash have made 5 of their last 6 field goals after scoring just 6 points in the first 8 minutes of the second half.
They started 3 for 15. They're shooting under 20%. This is the one thing that Sullinger making him finally go to his right. He couldn't score.
Oh, and he takes it right back. Dribbles behind his back. Lob inside. Gillespie comes down and throws down.
Well, there's another one of those assists you were talking about from Sullinger. How many times now are the Cardinal going to allow one of the Golden Flashes to take the ball from him right at midcourt? I mean, you got to be more aware, spatially, of where those guys in the blue are coming from to try to take that rock from you.
6:30 left in this one. Rayno with the shot fake and Band-Aid over his right eye. Sullinger gathers the loose ball and slows it down.
Yeah, well, I think in this first maybe 8 minutes of the second half, it was the Cardinal that were the more aggressive team. Now, this last 8 minutes, it has been the Golden Flashes taking the front right to the Cardinal, and they got them all off balance, and Coach Smith is screaming for a timeout. He finally gets it.
Rico Gillespie scoring the last 4 points with authority. So Kent is on a 7-0 run. Stanford hasn't scored in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. How are they going to get it righted, Scott?
Well, you got to take care of the basketball. Right now, the Sullinger is just having his way, stealing the basketball. He's got the 4 steals, and you mentioned all the assists that this kid has got now, getting 6 assists with the high handoff to his big fella underneath. I just like this kid, the way he plays. He's aggressive. This kid is going out there and saying, I'm going to leave it all on the floor, and he's doing his best to put his team across the finish line first.
You touched on some of those second half stats. To start the game out of the locker room, Kent State was 2 for 14 for their first 14 shots. They have made 9 of their last 12. Six minutes left. Max Rayno taking matters into his own hands on Hornby.
Yeah, great play call there. That horned high set. You rub them off either the right side or the left side of 2 big setting picks right at the top of the key, and then they roll Maxime Rayno. Now out to the 3-point line, rolling down to that block where he can do some damage with a high percentage field goal shot. Now this is the matchup they like right here. They get Sullinger out there on Rayno and let him just attack his feet.
5-10 on 7-1. Rayno gets hit with the ticky-tack right in front of the Kent bench.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be, was that 6 or 17 fouls now on Stanford. So it looks like it's going to be side out of bounds with the 16 foul. But there's no reason for that last-minute little reach by right now. You got great defense. You got to pick up that ball, stymied 30 feet from the basket.
Most importantly, it's his 4th foul. Blake's giving Sullinger fits. Knocked out of bounds to stay here. I think something really worth noting today, when you talk about Stanford and their 8 turnovers, that's uncharacteristic. How about how Kent State taking care of the basketball? Just 4 turnovers today, Scott.
Very focused. Like I said, a high energy, spirited practice yesterday. These guys want to be here, and they're competing. They have been the harder working ball club for the majority of this game.
Someone works hard to get the basketball to the hole, is knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, 3 seconds on that shot clock, and normally with this situation, the inbounder, which is going to be Sullinger, is going to be the most dangerous guy coming back to get this ball in the corner for a triple.
5:15 left in the game. 9-point advantage for Kent State. Sullinger, the trigger man. Puts it for Hornby. He goes right back to him. I was thinking about it, Scott, just like you called, but is rejected. Shot clock expired.
Give credit where credit is due. The Cardinal jumped all over. They sniffed that play out that Sullinger was going to try to get that ball back in that deep right corner, and they denied that. And I don't know if that was Reynaud getting another block shot there, but that was the stop that they needed. They want to try to cut into that deficit, make a run, and try to win this game. They got to get something going, right about now. They can't waste much more time.
We could look back and note that as a critical stop for the Cardinals. Off the bench and into the game is Thompson, missing 3. Collecting the rebound and picking it up and in is Reynaud.
Oh, nice job by Maxime Reynaud, getting on that glass, chewing some glass. Now 19 points, 7 rebounds for the big man.
Sullinger drops it off for Hornby, who looks for space against Reynaud. Cameron with the board. Sellers. Boy, that is his game, that transition pull-up. Couldn't make it there.
Yeah, but I just don't know about that one right there. Time in school, right? You saw Thompson try to shoot it on the right corner. He got bailed out by the Reynaud offensive rebound and putback. That one I would like to see. Like, you had kind of an advantage. Take that ball inside.
Hornby, one of the seniors on this squad. They are the heartbeat of this team. That was halfway down, doesn't fall. We'll say it last touch Stanford, so it'll stay here.
Yeah, Maxime Reynaud could not get that ball secured cleanly. And I like what I think about Hornby right there. He didn't get that bucket to go, but realizing that the big man's got those 4 personal fouls, he went right at him trying to draw that 5th one on Maxime Reynaud.
Hornby off the inbounds, loses the handle. Sellers bodies with Sullinger, floats to 2.
Yeah, see, that's more I would like to see Sellers the triple 4 when he shot that triple. Yes, you were open, but put a little more pressure on the defense by going inside. Kind of sets a 2-possession game.
11 points for Sellers, a 6-0 run for Stanford. The Cardinal has 4 players in double figures.
Well, I love this right here by Reynaud. Big man working the offensive glass, and then Oziah Sellers. Using those wheels so good in transition.
There is Rob Senderhoff, his team, playing very smart basketball tonight, as you mentioned, Scott. Turning the ball over just 6 times, and some of those numbers are a reflection of these numbers. He is one of just 3 coaches to have 0 losing seasons. And the other 2, Tom Izzo and Mark Few.
Yeah, easy to say that both Few and Izzo are Hall of Famers for sure. So an impressive group to be with. Look at this. Cardinal coming out in that little zone defense. They put Cameron out here kind of the top to stop the ball from being side to side. That's impressive for a guy 6'11".
Got clocks at 5. Logo 3 for Sullinger, just short. Gets his own rebound. Floater. Off the back of the iron. It's rare we see him miss 2 in a row.
Well, gives Coach Smith a lot of credit there. He mixed up the defense, and Golden Flash has had to settle for a long triple try.
6-0 run for the Cardinals. Losing the basketball is Reynaud. Here's Sumlin in the open court working on Blakes.
Good job by Blakes getting back defensively and shutting that attempt off. That's the winning plays right there.
Medley with 4 fouls has been limited tonight, to say the least. Davis. Oh, look at Gillespie. Another offensive rebound. 100 on the season for him. And Sullinger knocks down a 3, give him 30 on the night, give his team an 8-point lead.
Wow.
First basket in 3 minutes.
14 second half points, and that was bigger than that triple right there by Sullivan. What has this kid got now? Is that 7 3-point shots tonight?
7 of 10 from deep, and Reynaud, maybe one too many there, is 3 of 7 from 3 now.
Yeah, 8-point lead, 2 minutes to go. You take care of the basketball, you chew a little time off of that game clock, and you make your free throws, and Kent State trying to hold on and advance to the quarterfinals.
Davis. 10 on the shot clock. Akpara pokes it away.
Well, this guy right here has been the story tonight for his basketball squad. We say the Stars got to step up and shine. But look at this one. 6 feet from behind the arc, 3 to 5, gets a clean look at the front of the rim. Shortest guy on the floor is taking the fight right to the Cardinals.
Speaking of fight, Sumlin was a standout cornerback in Cleveland in high school playing football. Taking that same mentality to the court this time, but it hurts him.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, there's 4 seconds left on the shot clock. So, yeah, in a way, they turn the ball over, but it's not a live ball turnover. And you chewed 26 seconds off the game clock in the process. At the end of the day, I'm sure Coach Sinderoff's going to be okay with that possession.
1:51 left. What do the Cardinals need to do right now, Scott?
I do not think they need to bomb away. There's a lot of time left in his basketball game. You got one of the best bigs in the country. Run some offense through him.
Stanford shooting 27% from 3. Hornby fouls Sellers.
Well, just a 16 foul on Kent State, so baseline out of bounds. Let's see. This is something the Cardinals have been pretty darn good at all season long, executing their BOB, their baseline out of bounds plays for high percentage shots.
Akpara drifts through the lane and drops it off for Sellers, who raises for 3. Gillespie brings down another rebound. But travels after he brings it down. That was his 14th rebound and his first turnover on the heels of it.
Yeah, he's been chewing glass. He went up so high with that one. There's some contact, and he just lost his balance and couldn't get on balance before he took that 3rd or 4th step.
Sellers double-teamed in the corner. There's Reynaud working on Gillespie in front of his own bench. Jab step, quick hands by Gillespie. Reynaud, flustered to say the least.
Yeah, and I don't understand why you got your big guy out there on the 3-point line. You got plenty of guys that can shoot triples even better than Maxime Reynaud. Bring him down on that left block and let him try to go inside and get a bucket. If not, maybe we get fouled and get the chance to go to that free throw line.
8 on the shot clock. More feisty defense coming from the Golden Flash. But now we've got a 1-and-1.
Yeah, and they made that foul. So that's the last thing they really wanted to do. You had Cardinal discombobulated offensively, playing outside the paint. You just needed to play solid defense, keep them off of that free throw line, rebound that basket. Now you give them a chance to score 2 points at that line with the game clock stopped, and a chance to set up their defense to see if they can't get a steal in the backcourt.
Defense has been the order of business over the last 5 minutes. Kent has turned the ball over 4 times in those last 5 minutes, and in the last 3 minutes, Stanford hasn't scored at all. Blakes finally breaks that drought.
Yeah, Blake's so good. You know, he shoots 89% from the free throw line. Blake's and Sellers, if they get to the line, those guys are almost lights out. One's at 89.6, the other guys are like 90%. So if they can get to that free throw line, they got a good chance of cutting into that deficit.
Pressure extended by Stanford.
No reason to foul here. You don't want to put Kent State on the free throw line. Just try to get that ball and If they get it over, that's okay. That's the problem. Just play good, solid defense.
Davis is harassed. Onto the floor he goes with Cameron.
Yeah, they're going to get Cameron for the foul. He got undercut Davis there, knocked his feet out from underneath him. And Cameron can't believe it. Like, hey, I just made a play on the ball. Not my fault he tripped over my big body, but it is his fault that he tripped over that big body. But that's not one that Coach Smith is going to be too upset about, because he got his big guy out here trying to harass that ball and get it back.
And that's it for Cameron, his 5th foul. So he heads to the showers.
Not the worst situation, fouling out with 110. Your team's trailing by 6. You got to get some three-point shooting back in the game now at this point anyway. So they come back with Benny Geeler, who can stroke it from the outside. Got Davis on the foul line. Davis is a 72% shooter from that foul line. So should he miss one of these, Cardinals got to make sure they secure this rebound with Cameron out of his game.
Makes the first. Kent State out-rebounding Stanford. 40-33.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming, right? With the length of Stanford, you would have thought that would be the exact opposite numbers. That Stanford would be a +6 or +7 from the line. Couldn't get them both to go.
Renault rips the huge rebound. His team now down 7. Time of the essence. Coming up on a minute left. Akpara going to have to shoot the clean 3. Splash!
That's exactly what they needed. A quick strike 3. Yes, a little less than a minute to play, and you're down by 4. You can play good defense. No need to foul.
Sumner in trouble.
Coach Sidroff saw his buddy in a bad, his teammate, his player in a bad way, and called timeout from the 50 feet across the floor.
That reminds me of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? That was a lifeline from across the court from that man right there. And that's the reason why he's got 287 wins, the most in school history for Kent State. Okay, so a 4-point advantage right now. What does Kent State need to do down the stretch, Scott, to solidify this, shock the world, and move on to the quarterfinals of the NIT?
It was simple. Take care of that basketball first and foremost. Don't involve any live ball turnovers. Second, you're trying to get a high percentage shots with your backcourt balance, right? You want a long 3 that leads to a quick run out the other end, like we just saw by Stanford. He got that quick corner 3 by Akpara. So even if you should miss, if you don't get fouled, and you don't have an opportunity to go to the free throw line, you got to make the Cardinal choose some time on this next offensive possession that they have.
And we have seen barn burners all day long in the NCAA tournament and in the NIT.
I'd really like to see him put the ball in the hands of Sullinger. Try to run some pick and roll right here. See if he can get that mismatch with Raynaud on him that he's been successful of being able to attack Raynaud's feet, especially with Raynaud knowing he's got 4 fouls.
So there are the second round scores. Loyola Chicago upsetting #1 seed San Francisco earlier tonight. So the winner of this game will take on Loyola Chicago. And this one with 45.2 seconds left, still very much up in the air. Benny Geeler checks into the game for Stanford. And there's a guy who you got to feel real good about if you're Coach Senderhoff. 30 points on the night for Sullinger. A 4-point advantage for his team. Shot clock at 15. Sullinger controls and they go right after him and foul. 87% free throw shooter.
Well, okay, listen, I get running 2 guys at him. They ran 3 guys at him. It was Sellers, the one that he attacked. He let him go left. He's been going left and burning him all night long. You got to realize this. He's going to come left at me. I got to get really wide and not let him get into my body and create that foul. Easier said than done. The kid's lickety-split. Fast.
He has made his only 2 free throws tonight. Gives him 31 points. Hornbeak goes to the bench. Look like Steph Curry, maybe. Playing like Steph Curry, yes, definitely.
Well, ice water in his veins. He calmly went to the line on the road, knocked those down. Let's see what Stanford comes back with here. He'll pick and roll with Raynaud.
Lakes from the elbow, fading away, way off. Sellers hustles for the rebound. Game clock under 30. Blake glides to 2.
Now you got a foul. You don't get this ball initially on the second pass, you got a foul. Yeah, with 21 seconds to go, you're down by 4. You can ill afford to let the golden flashes shoot 10 seconds off that clock, getting it over the half-court stripe.
So we'll walk the length of the court to shoot free throws.
Yeah, is it Davis again going to the line? Yeah, so we talked about Davis's free throw shooting ability. So one of these may come off. You got to get that ball. You got Akpara and Reynaud down there on that block. So secure a rebound.
73% on the season for Davis. 2 of 3 from the free throw line tonight.
Yeah, this is the one-on-one variety, and not in the double bonus.
Drills the first. First team All-MAC. 14th all-time on Kent State's scoring list.
Yeah, one timeout left for Stanford. I don't know if Coach Smith's going to use it after this made free throw, but if he misses it, you got to rush that ball to the other end. You got to start thinking 3 points at this point.
Blake's charging into the forecourt. It's rejected by Gillespie, but we've got a block first.
Yeah, a little bit of a late call, but I think the officials got it right. And he doesn't really like the call. And, this is what Blake's has done a good majority of this game, kind of getting to the side of the frame of the defender, and he got that foul call. Maybe a little home cooking on that one, as the defender was maybe off of his feet, but in pretty good position.
So Blake's is back at the free throw line.
Yeah, down by 5. Blake's is a good free throw shooter, so you go ahead and let him make both of these. Had he been a subpar free throw shooter, you might think about making the first and missing the second. See if you can't get 4 points on this trip. Miss that second, kick it back outside. Plenty of 3-point shooters, but think you with Blake shooting at this free throw line, 14 seconds. You know you should have 1, possibly even 2 possessions left. So go ahead and make this. See if you can't get that live ball turnover. Down by 3 and a chance to tie the game.
One timeout left for the Cardinals. Kent State in the double bonus from here on out. 14.5 left. Medley gets it to Hornbeak, who goes right back to him, but is fouled first.
Well, that's the guy I think you wanted to foul right there. Hornbeak shooting from the free throw line just under 70%. So if you're the Cardinal, with all the good free throw shooters and the amount of times that both Davis and Sullinger have been to the line, you find somebody that hasn't been to the stripe for a while that's a sub 70% shooter.
Hornbeak, after his team lost to Miami of Ohio in the conference tournament, he headed to Las Vegas thinking the season was over. They got the call for the NIT as he misses the post.
This is the big one right here. I'm sorry to cut you off, Bart. Obviously, this is the big one to put him up by 2 possessions, obviously 4 points. And this is the one that generally, if you miss the first one short, the second one could come off long, which makes it a tough rebound for those guys in white shirts.
Hornbeak misses them both. It's knocked out of bounds. They'll say it was last touched by the Golden Flash.
Well, Coach Smith still got that one timeout in his pocket, but he's directing his troops like he's going to let them play on here. Obviously, at this point now, with 11 seconds to go, you got to be thinking, we'll take it 2, but if we get a good look at a 3, we're going to try to tie this game up.
Stanford, remember, they are in the bonus. Right now, it looks like Kent State is content to pick them up at half court, as now Medley heads into the forecourt and will back off. Blake's darts to the hole, loses the handle, but is fouled first by Sullinger.
Yeah, I think Coach Sinneroff decided, I don't want to take a chance on letting them get a 3. I'm going to go ahead and foul and send them to the free throw line. Again, problem is with Blake's, he's almost a 90% free throw shooter. So now what you've done, you put the pressure back on yourself. If he makes both of these, he cuts it to a 1-point game. Now you've got to come back with 7 seconds. You're going to foul immediately, so maybe a second comes off the clock. You might find yourself in a 2-possession game, or 2-point game. You might get burned and lose the game on a 3-point shot, because with 6 seconds, they got plenty of time to operate for a final 3-point shot.
So you want him to make it here.
Make it here, absolutely. Put the pressure back on the Golden Flashes. If you don't steal the inbounds pass, you got to foul on contact immediately.
Oh, almost hit Hornbeak's hand and went out of bounds, but gathering the miss is Sullinger.
Well, that's the worst thing that could have happened, right? So, first of all, Blake's missing is an oddity in itself, a near 90% free throw shooter, and then you get the ball to Sullinger, who's, you talked about his ability at the free throw stripe, about, 87%. So Sullinger could basically ice this game with 5 seconds if he could knock in 2 of these freebies. And Coach Smith wants to call a timeout. Nice.
So Coach Smith will use Stanford's last timeout. Kent State up 2, 74-72. Sports Center coming up after this one. Stanford would like to make this a Sports Center top 10 if they could pull off some kind of comeback. But right now the story has been Jared Sullinger. 32 points is a career high, and he's got 2 free throws coming up, so he'll probably break that.
I love when players can elevate their games and meet the moment, and that's exactly what Sullinger has done. He's knocked down time after time from behind the arc. You have lost track of how many fingers he's knocked in triples on. What is that, 7 triples in this basketball game? And when he's not knocking down triples, he's spoon-feeding his buddies for buckets as well. So we talked about him before the game. Hey, your stars got to shine up. Sullinger and Davis. It was Sullinger and Davis in the first half, but in the second half, it's been a whole second-half Sullinger show.
And the clock has struck midnight on the East Coast, but Coach Senderhoff's team doing their best Cinderella impression after the 12 o'clock hour. Can they hang on and head to the quarterfinals?
Yeah, I love those numbers right there, right? 32 points, 11 of 22, 7 of 10 from behind the arc. And none of those were forced. Those were all within the flow of the offense or the design concept of the offense. And this is probably his 2 biggest free throws of his season this year to try to extend the Golden Flashes year.
Buries the first one. That's a career high, 33 points.
This one right here to give the Golden Flashes a trip to the quarterfinals.
Sullinger drains the second.
Now all you got to do is just get away from the basketball. Don't even challenge a 3-point shot here.
Sellers, length of the floor. Here's Raynaud. Will hoist right away. Buries it. They'll have to foul right away. Running the baseline is Bakalja, and fouled is Davis.
Well, it looks great, but then that foul, right? So you don't want to instruct your guy to miss 2 free throws here, but you're almost better off if he does miss one of these free throws, because then they got to try to hoist one with no more timeouts. Stanford's got to try to hoist one from about the opposite end of the free throw line. If he makes them both, they might be able to throw it down here to half court and try to get a look at a 3.
Davis hits the first.
I almost want to tell Davis, if I'm Coach Rob Senderhoff, hey, just miss this one. The chance that we lose this game on a heat from 75 feet, slim and done.
He follows your advice. Can Raynaud pull off a miracle? No. So Cinderella still dancing.
I got to give it to the Kent State Golden Flashes. They came out here and competed for a full 40 minutes and come out victorious. Jalen Sullinger is must-see TV.
34 points on 7 of 10 beyond the arc. 5 of 5 from the free throw line for Sullinger. 8 rebounds and 5 assists. So there's the updated bracket. Loyola Chicago winning in your earlier affair. We told you about that. But the big story tonight, 77-75. Kent State pulling off the upset. Scott, this was just unfathomable coming into this game, but Kent's done it.
I love these seniors. They had that desire on Saturday. I knew it was going to translate to a good performance here on Sunday night.
77-75, Kent State the winner tonight in Palo Alto. For Scott Williams and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Pete Souza. Enjoy SportsCenter.